Hey, you guys, don't forget, if you support this show on Patreon, you get a bonus show every week. It's like pre-show and post-show content that you don't get any other way. This week we put up a 17-minute bonus show. Insane. Anyway, if you want that, help us out. Patreon.com/core show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Core. This is Core, talking about video games. We talk about video games for the core player. That's right, core video gamers. It's kind of a term I hate, but that's the name of our show, so we're just going to live with it. We're just going to have to stick with it. I'm Scott Johnson. Bo Schwartz is here. John Jagger's here. And it's the day before Thanksgiving here in the United States. Thanksgiving Eve. Canada already had yours. You had yours in October, right? You guys are done?
Oh, yeah, it's old news. We're well past that.
Yeah. You guys don't do anything.
America.
Nothing tomorrow, right? You guys just normal day for you?
Normal day tomorrow.
Okay. Like you don't even go, oh, let's have turkey like the Americans today or something like that. You don't do any of that.
Nope. It's in October.
All right.
This is just nothing.
And
Just
John?
nothing. We have Remembrance Day
Yeah.
for veterans. I think you guys do too in November.
We have a different date, but yeah, we have one too.
Yeah. So we had that, but no one has turkey. We just have silence.
When you, well, John, what do you do in Arizona? Is it the same as here? You're going with family and gonna
Yes.
have turkey and all that?
Arizona still celebrates Thanksgiving. We
Okay.
haven't separated from that tradition yet.
Okay, good.
We don't mess with our clocks, but we do eat turkey.
All right,
So
good.
yeah, we're
Good.
gonna have family together. Those that can make it. It turns out a big storm came in, and so the amount of people showing up has changed.
Just because of from out of state, people come from like snowy areas, or are they worried about rain?
Northern Arizona, where I grew up, so they get
Oh.
a lot of snow up there in that area, and so they are gonna get just dumped on. So
That's no fun. We're being dumped on currently. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll just stay here and eat soup for the next month. It's fine. I don't care.
there you go.
Yeah, I don't need to go anywhere. I'm good. I have all I need here. I just need internet. I need electricity. I need heat. The love of a good dog.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I need. And some video
Sorry,
games.
good
love of
list.
a good what?
A good dog? Normally
Okay,
you say,
sorry.
normally the phrase is of a good woman, but it sounds sexist somehow. So I said dog because I like dogs. Dogs
I
are-
heard something dog adjacent. That's what I wanted to clarify.
Wait a minute. Dog adjacent. I don't even know what that means.
I
Give me-
mean, dog adjacent in letters.
Oh,
Maybe 4 letters.
oh, really?
Little N jammed in there somewhere.
All right.
Like that's a new one.
That is a
Like-
new one.
There's a lot of ways to celebrate the holiday.
There really is. And one of those ways is to talk about games. So I've noticed that both of you and many of my friends are playing Diablo 3 because they like the new season. Or more likely what I think is happening is a whole bunch of people got excited about Diablo 4's announcement and then were bummed out that it's not out yet. So they got a hankering for Diablo and are now playing Diablo 3 again. That's the best I can figure. Although I guess there are 2 new sets in this new season, so there is like new content, not just sort of recycled content from a previous season so much. How's that going for everybody? I'm not in right now, and I'll tell you why later, but are we having fun? Are we enjoying ourselves?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And I think it's a mix of 3 things. I think it's good timing with Diablo 4. I think you got a lot of people really hungry for that type of game. I
Mhm.
think even you, who isn't playing Diablo 3, is feeling a little bit of that.
I am.
I think that, yeah, there's new content. There's the new sets. There's a new patch around it. So there's tweaks in that regard. But there's also a new pet that I think is pretty cool that's mixed up in there. And I also think there was a third thing that I've forgotten what it was. Oh, this the kind of gimmick of this season.
Oh
is
yeah. What
actually
are they
pretty
doing?
cool.
What are they doing this season? What's the deal?
So it's all based on a kill streak. You get your kill streak going, and as it goes up, you get a buff, and that buff has special effects the higher and higher it gets.
Okay.
At certain levels, and it's a really fun one. The last one was one I really didn't like. I got to play a little bit of it, and you had to stand in a particular spot. It was really uneventful and uninteresting. This one just gives you a cool bonus while you're running around killing stuff, and it's pretty chaotic and fun.
Well, kill streaks are frequent in that game, so I can imagine that you're benefiting from that quite often. I would imagine. Seems like it would be. Bo, do you concur? It's you're in, obviously, you're enjoying it.
I've been playing like crazy. I did my season journey. I'm all done.
Yeah, how'd you do that in like a day? That's crazy.
Well, for all the excitement of the game that's there, that whole adventure mode game loop hasn't changed much, right? There's still, get to 70. Once you get to 70, get your legendaries, do Torment 10, get your gems. Once you get your gems, do your bounties. Once you've done your bounties, then go do some more rifts, and then you get your ancient legends, and you grind your rifts up to 70 and get your primal ancient, and then you get all your pieces, and you just go and go and go.
Yeah.
So
you did it so fast. How did you power level to 70? Did you just rip through that on your own?
A ton. I mean, I played more than I should have.
Okay. Like, give me for people who are like, maybe I'm doing this. I wonder how many hours it would take. How long does it take Bo Schwartz to get to where you're at? Because I saw you running Torment like, I don't know, 12 or something last night or something like that. 14.
Oh, I'm doing Torment 16. I'm doing this. I have top Torment on farm.
Yeah.
And I'm up to the Greater Rift level 90s, something like 92 or 93 or something like that.
And you did all this in about a day and a half?
Well, it launched on Friday. I was super stoked. So I played on Friday last weekend, and then I played pretty much all day Saturday. And then a little bit after, there will be dungeons on Sunday. And then Monday, God rested. I didn't play any on Monday, and then yesterday was Tuesday, and I played more than I should have in the evening after work. And then we're here, and I played an hour before the show today.
Wow.
While stuffing a hamburger into my mouth because I wasn't really playing. I just wanted to be in Diablo. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's a little. You're not playing an adventure. There's no story, obviously. There isn't, it's just kind of fun to progress and get it's like Christmas, getting Christmas gifts. Like you open your loot, you see what's in there. It's all crap. You complain your family doesn't get you, and you throw it all in the trash. You salvage it. And then in real life, you return it for receipts and then get the gifts you do want. That's kind of how
That's kind of what that feels like. Okay.
Yeah.
I had the same urge, but here's what's funny. I got into Diablo for about an hour and went, I don't know if I want to do this right now, but I still had the urge, and that was a weird feeling because what the urge was telling me is I still needed a break from the look, the feel, the touch, all of it. I needed that loop though. The loop is what I needed. And so after hammering it away at that for a while, I went, I don't really want to do this. Then I even got back into Path of Exile for a little bit. And same deal. I was like, I don't really want to do this right now either. But the loot, I want the loot. I want that. So what's wrong with me? I kept thinking. Like something's wrong with me.
It's just because there's something end-game experiences are not exactly super thrilling because everything that's there, right? Like, I mean, it's like a path you've walked down before, right? I don't know. It's like you might enjoy it if that's what you want in the moment, but I could easily see, like, I feel dumb in a week where I still have games I've bought that I haven't played. I could be back in The Witcher 3 that I'm playing this like 10-year-old game now, just doing the same old stuff.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. And even me, I've got my eyes on Darksiders Genesis. Actually, is a top-down ARPG.
Yep.
Doesn't have damage numbers. Maybe it will once the game launches. None of the trailers. But it looks wicked. Like the art in it looks just phenomenal.
It looks really cool. Yeah.
I'm hoping this is like really good.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a sleeper. So I'm kind of playing Diablo 3, but I've got my eye on Darksiders because I want that new experience too. And let's face it, Diablo 4. 2 or 3 years out.
It's a ways
out for a very long time.
Yep. You're totally right. So this is what I did. I kept feeling the itch, and I thought, well, how am I going to scratch this itch? I can't seem to reach it. So I installed Grim Dawn because I heard they put out what they're calling their definitive edition, but if you already own the game, you just sort of have this patch with a ton of new content, some other stuff. And I went, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. And so I'm playing Grim Dawn again. So, it's, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. We're all sort of playing loot grinders at the moment. And that thing's really appealing to me at the moment. And I don't know why that one of all of them just sort of worked for me, because it's not always true. Sometimes it's the opposite. Like, I don't want to play that. I want to play something else. But Grim Dawn, back in my life this week, put some hours into that. Started a new character because it just wanted to. They have some new classes now. This definitive edition added a whole bunch of stuff.
Did you try Kill Squad yet?
No, I have not tried Kill Squad, although maybe it was you I was talking to. Yeah. What was the deal with that? I forgot what kind of game it is.
It's an early access. It's kind of like a sci-fi, like I almost say like an Outer Worlds kind of, like it's a weird sci-fi modern kind of thing, but it's an ARPG. It's just full of aliens instead of hell hordes.
Okay.
And it's been an early access, so early access game.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Not really my bag.
I remember this. Yeah. This was like it's like third person Destiny kind of. No, it's like it's isometric, right?
Isometric ARPG. It's just the only thing holding me back, and maybe I should just give it a try. Is the reviews have been quite mixed.
Well, they were mixed early on. Now they're mostly positive, so it sounds like maybe that's because the game's improved. I don't know.
Well, it's an alpha, right? But
yeah, I kind of look at this. Look at this. Don't show me this. This looks good.
Yeah. Kill Squad looks. The only reason I haven't gotten it is because it's in early access, and because of the mixed reviews, I'm sort of waiting a little bit just to see how it develops. It's on my wish list, and it looks rad. It's full of cool laser lights, and
can you play on your own, or do you have to?
Yeah, so it's solo, or like it's as Diablo gets without being Diablo, as far as I can tell. But I haven't played it, so I don't know. But I watched a stream of it. It's cool.
Okay. It's cheap right now. It's on sale.
Yeah.
Normally $25. It is currently $17. It's not cheap, but 30% off. All right, that looks pretty neat.
I think I might give that time, and Darksiders is out on the 5th, so...
that's soon.
I just saw that I am apparently now the owner of Grim Dawn, so I will have to try that at some point.
Oh, did you just notice that? I actually gifted that to you today because John, I'm in there installing it, and I went, oh, look at all my friends that have this game. That's cool. I didn't realize so many people had Grim Dawn, and I'm just looking down the list, and then I see a list of people who have it on their wish list, and it's a bunch of randos that have added me over time, and I really don't know them. But then I see John's bald head with a bunch of stuff sticking out of it. Because you're using some picture on there that's goofy. I can't remember what the deal was. You were just making a face or something. And I went, John doesn't have Grim Dawn? How is this even possible? He would like this game. And it's on sale now. Like the base game's on sale for like $4.99 or something dumb. So I gifted it to you today. So that's why you have it. You should install it. You should play it.
I will definitely give it a go at some point. I think the reason it's been a pass on me is as I think we've talked about on this show, I think it has the worst title of any game I've ever heard.
Yeah, you don't like that name. That's held you back from even trying it. Grim Dawn. Yeah. But when you play it, you'll realize it's fitting. It's like a very grim new dawn.
It's like early in the morning and things are looking a little grim.
Yeah, it's a little grim.
The top review I see here
is
why wait for Diablo 4 when you can play the best ARPG ever made? That was posted a few days ago, or a month ago, November 6th.
Yeah. Grim Dawn is it's a thing, man. Let's see the definitive edition, which I have, I guess, because if you already bought it, you just get it. Which is nice. Because I supported their Kickstarter like back in 2013 or whatever it was. Like it's the game, or 2015, whatever it was. All the years before they released the damn thing. But let's see. So Bo, this is just so you know what they're doing with this new thing. You got the apocalyptic fantasy world of Grim Dawn. This bundle you can complete your existing Grim Dawn collection or start fresh. Enjoy all the combined gameplay enhancing features and content we've added to the base game, and the Ashes of Malmuth and the Forgotten Gods, which are expansions. This features also, let's see, a new character, or you can make a new character that includes additional character classes, gear appearance customization with the Illusionist. Oh, it sounds like Transmog is what that is. Movement skills. I don't know what that means, but there they are. Equipment skill modifiers. I saw some of that. Additional side content accessible prior to finishing the original game's main quest line. Enter the Crucible, an alternate game mode for quick experience and loot. It's kind of like adventure mode, sort of
like horde mode, or
yeah.
something like that.
It's good. It's real good. I mean, these are the guys that made Titan Quest back in the day. There are ex-Diablo people on the team. They're a big deal, and this is also, this isn't it's just to buy it and play a game. There's no, there's no free to play anything in it. You just play, and you don't have to be online to play it. Yeah, it's like kind of the answer all the Diablo people wanted, without being dicks, because the dicks all went to play Path of Exile. That's too broad. I don't mean to broadly brush all you Path of Exile fans. I'm just saying some of you are jerky about it, and you're a little more vocal than most. Grim Dawn people seem very nice. They seem very chill and very cool, and are just happy to have their game. Also, the skill system's pretty neat, and the world is basically Heroes of the Waste. It's basically our D&D campaign. So it's like a lot of weird modern. It's apocalyptic, so it's like, lots of fantasy tropes, and there's magic and all that other stuff, but it's also like burned out barrels and a building that clearly looks like it used to be a modern thing, and stuff like that. And some of the gear you get is like ancient meaning stuff from now, but in the far-flung future of the apocalypse. It's very cool. I like it a lot. And Grim Dawn is a dumb name. I'll give you that. But you quickly get over it because it's a good game. And now I've given it to you, so you have no excuse. You just have to play it.
I was also, and I don't know who gave this to me. Apparently Steam did. Apparently I also was gifted State of Decay, the Year 1 Survival Edition.
Oh, well, that I don't know. I don't think that was me.
I don't know where that came from, but that's a new item for me, so I got that.
There you go. So, anyway, that's where I ended up planting my loot flag while everybody seemed to be flocking back to Diablo, which is normally, that would have been a natural thing for me to do. I did it last year when Immortal was announced. Of all things, that got me excited about Diablo again. I went home and played a ton of it. I think we talked about it here. Yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at on that. Anyway, it's a good time to get in. If you guys are getting in, get in there. See what's up. See if you like it. Also, if you're always thinking to yourselves, hey, Nintendo never has any sales on the games they make. It's always other people's games you get deals on. I just installed on sale Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, which is a fine side-scrolling Mario game. It's on sale for the first time. So just a little note, if you don't want to pay $59 for their game, I just got it for $41 on the Switch.
Nice.
I still don't own a Switch. I need to do it. I want to get a Switch Lite.
Yeah?
I think if I were to get a Switch, I think that's what I'd do.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah.
No more concerns with thumbs.
Oh, I'm still worried about it, but I feel like I would just take
fine.
my chances. I tend to be pretty lucky with regards to that, which I feel like now that I've said that, guarantees I won't be. But yeah, I don't know. Switch Lite seems to be where my head is at with that. I don't know if I want to play it on the TV.
I don't need to anymore. It's kind of like I don't even care. And I think this D-pad is great. Whoops, wherever it is on your screen. This guy right here. The sticks are solid. Everything works great. I love it. And mine's yellow. Look how yellow it is. It's like pee. All right.
Yep, really
Is your
nailed
pee
it.
that color?
No, that'd
See
be
a doctor, I think, if that's the case.
No, mine's blue like the diaper commercials. Is that normal to be blue like that? Liquid blue? No, maybe.
Yeah, that's normal.
Oh,
What
good.
You broke Bo.
Did I break you,
No,
Bo?
I got you. In the diaper commercials, they put blue on the diapers for some reason.
Yeah, blue
They're like,
liquid.
see how it absorbs. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to pour water in that
I think they do that so that it's less offensive.
because they probably don't want to. Put pee on television. Can you imagine a real diaper commercial? Finally, it's just got a giant. It's not even a turd. It's like baby shit soup. That's like. Yeah.
I guess
just-
the blue stuff is just is less offensive or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, picture this. Aunt, I don't know who these are, but picture like a 50-year-old woman and a 50-year-old husband, and they're sitting down with all their teenage children, having their meal, watching Fox News, and the commercial starts up. They're all sitting there eating their dinner and watching the TV, and then a giant baby turd is on the TV. It's gonna cause ruckus.
All right.
There's a turd on the TV. I'm trying to eat here, Fox News.
I think that would be closer to 60, those people, not 50 so much.
60.
It's got to be a boomer who's into Fox News. The Gen X don't care. We don't care. We're not into it. Hey, quick note. White Fox SG in the chat just made a point that I think is a good one. There's all kinds of weird sales today and tomorrow, today through Friday. But Elder Scrolls Online, which I'm also playing and loving, is currently on sale for $20. It includes the Elsewhere brand new expansion with all the Dragonborn stuff. It's amazing. And that includes the base game, Somerset, Morrowind, and Elsewhere. $20 total. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah. You should buy that, everybody. And there's no monthly fee unless you want to get bonus crap. You should play that. That's insane. That's insane.
That's a good deal. There are some really good deals on there.
Yeah, there are.
One of my favorite games of the year is on sale heavily right now on Steam, which is Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Yeah.
You can buy it for under $20 as well. And I think that is still one of the best things you could have played this year.
Is it okay? So if you were to vote today, is it still Game of Year candidate, or is that a shoe-in for Game of the Year for you?
It's pretty high up there. I think this new Star Wars game really did some work to me, did some business, because it's probably the only other game this year that as soon as I finished, I said, I want to play more of that, and just started it right back up.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually did that 4 times with Resident Evil, and I did it for a little bit with the new Star Wars. Turns out it didn't have the legs that I hoped it would, but it did leave me wanting more. So
nice.
But yeah, I mean, I'd have to give it more thought, but there's a good chance that Resident Evil 2 was my favorite thing I played this year.
Well, here are some other screaming deals going on right now. This is Steam, by the way. BattleTech, amazing game. I have this game. It's great. 66% off for a limited time, $13.59. Total no-brainer. You should get it. City Skyline, $7.49. Code Vein, don't know what that is. Some kind of Japanese business, right? Probably, right? Got to be. Anyway, $41.99. Dead Cells at $17. Deep Rock Galactic, where you're a bunch of future dwarves digging into the dirt, doing stuff. It's great. It's a very cool little game. That thing's $20 right now. Destiny 2 Shadowkeep's only $20. Gears 5, $29.99. That game's new. It's 50% off. Grand Theft Auto
also
5.
Free if you've got the Xbox thing, which is one of the things that I've actually run into with the store this year.
Yeah.
Is I keep going in and going, oh, that's a great deal. I keep wanting to get into Dead by Daylight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, everything's on sale right now. I can buy a bunch of stuff. It's actually on the Xbox Gamer Pass, and you get all of the DLC for it.
It's all there.
So,
you're right. Same thing. I keep running into this too. It's weird. These sales have changed because of Game Pass. And to some extent, other services, Origin and some of those at times do the same thing to me. Game Pass in particular I'm now in the habit of going, ooh, look at that game on Steam. But before I do, and then I'll head on over to the Xbox app and just see if that thing's on there. And like 9 out of 10 times it has been. So it's such a good deal. It's ridiculous.
Mortal Kombat 11's on sale for $40 too.
40. That's pretty good.
We've played a ton of Vermintide 2. It's $8. Actually less. It's $7.50.
So cheap it pains me. Grand Theft Auto 5, which I know is old, but it still sells for, $49 or whatever it is, down to $14.99 right now. Killing Floor 2. I hated that game, but whatever. $10. No Mansky. $29.99. That's pretty good. And they just did a big update.
We're going to talk more about that in just a minute because that was a surprise.
Portal 2 is 99 cents. That's 90% off.
If you haven't played Portal 2, people.
I know, right? How dumb are you?
You can give them $1.
If you listen to the show and you haven't played Portal 2, that is your homework Spend 99 cents. Try it for an hour. You won't stop.
Chat says the ESO deal is great, but don't get it on Steam. I have zero problems having it on Steam. That's where I have it. I do the plus sub on there. It's been no issues at all. I don't know what he's talking about. He's smoking crack. Let's see. Rage 2. Now, see, there's another one. Rage 2 for super cheap right now, $19.79. You can go get that on Game Pass. It's just there. So just go get it if that's what you want to do.
Rage 2 is on Game Pass?
Yeah,
Sweet.
it is now. I think they just added it a couple weeks ago or a week ago.
They've either added it or they announced that it's about to be on there.
Yeah.
So we'll be there shortly.
A few others on here, like Warhammer Vermintide 2, which you mentioned. Total Accurate Battle Simulator is pretty insane. Total War Rome 2, if you're into that sort of thing. But the big one that jumped out at me here is one that Bo sort of turned me on to and I fell in love with, and that is Stellaris. I still go back and just spend time in Stellaris. I love that game.
Oh, it's such a good game.
Such a cool game. And that's $10. $10.
And there's a lot of space strategy games like those 4X. And
Yeah.
they're all good, but I really think Stellaris is the leader.
It's combination of 4X concepts, but real time, not turn-based. It doesn't just feel like you're playing another Civilization clone that's set in space. It feels very different than that. And
there's empire management, and with all the expansions and like little projects you can get up to, it gets really involving.
mhm,
It's kind of like a galactic empire simulator.
yeah,
And I mean, if you're really into 4Xs, chances are you've played this and you played others, and maybe you like another one for whatever reason. But if you just want one
yeah.
space strategy game, and
Stellaris is
Stellaris is it for you.
and it feels so explory. It's what I love about it. I feel like I can send some ship off to do some auto exploring for me in a new solar system while I'm getting work done at home in the Sol system, and then suddenly a thing will come up and go bling. An anomaly found just off the eastern side of the freaking weird place. You should go scan it or whatever. And it's always like, I feel like I'm in space, man. I feel like, even though it's like this top-down game, I feel like that feeling of expansion and wonder, and the music helps. It's just great. Just such a cool game.
You still play as humans?
I still sometimes do. Depends. I kind of like the grounded sense that I'm a human.
One of the cool things about it, though, is also the very wide range of governments and alien species social structures, right? You can have like slavery is a thing. You have governments, edicts, you can outlaw slavery, you can be pro-slavery. I'm not fixating on the slavery part. It's just, it really encompasses a lot of different sort of races, right? Like races that are symbiotic or parasitic to other races. You might be a 2-tier, like you might have one empire that has 2 races and one's subjugated to the other, but in like a parasitic way.
Sure.
And like it's also possible for you to research robots, like to make your empire more productive.
Mhm.
Then it's possible for the robots to result and become a sentient race that you have to manage. Like even as humans, you're like, oh no, the robots are sentient, and I've got to decide to be good to them or enslave them. And they can rebel and just have their own galactic race too, because hey, they took over.
Yeah.
And it could be robots rule your race. It's really, really neat. It's really in depth without being overly complicated.
Yeah.
They still keep it simple enough that you're like, okay, I can manage my brain around what's going on.
Has a great tutorial as well that you can. Let's say you're playing it a bunch. You go through the tutorial stuff, and not tutorial stuff, but you have kind of an assistant that helps you, and it's voiced and everything. And then you may get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm good. I think I've got all the systems down pretty well. I can turn that dude off. And then let's say you leave for a few months and then you come back, oh, I got to get back into this game, and you just can't remember everything. You can turn that dude back on. Even if you're way late into a session or a game, he'll still give hints that will be helpful to kind of bring you back online. It's just very cool. I hope
and the soundtrack. The soundtrack
so
evokes that sort of space.
Totally, dude.
Yeah, it's a really good soundtrack, and there's a voice in there, the lady voice they have that narrates you, like, please check the economy window for information about your empire.
That
is really good. Everything's good.
It's very good. Can't recommend it enough. And $10, it's just like it's the stupidest deal ever.
It has Dyson spheres.
Yes, it does have Dyson spheres. It also has Oh, what was that thing called that alien race made?
Space whales.
Does it have? Wait, I've never seen a space whale.
It's an expansion pack where you can get leviathans. I think
Oh.
it's called. And there's like space whales and creatures that they're beneficial, but maybe they're harmful. Just
Right.
there's literally like 80 expansions. So the time to get that game is when it's on sale and everything's dirt cheap.
Yeah, it's you could probably get the
but
whole
it's-
pack for less than the full retail game right now.
Base game is super cheap if you just want to try it out. Don't feel like you have to buy the expansions, but yeah, you can, I think, harvest black holes at a certain point in the text structure. What you're thinking of, it has not, I guess, existential threats towards the end. I don't know if existential is the right word, but like in Civilization, you're playing against the other civilizations, right?
Right.
But in space, crazy, beings from the 15th dimension invade into your space and cause this like cosmic panic that threatens to wipe everything out. And they're random, so you don't get the same one every time you play. They're like,
Right.
I think they're called endgame threats or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have a dramatic impact on the game. And they're just really out there business. So
Yeah.
yeah.
They really go places. I don't even know what to compare it to. It just makes me feel like what space would feel like if I got to go out and be in it. It's very good. So get it. Also, if you want to spend $5 for no reason, get a Steam controller because they're closing them out. This is it.
Yeah.
You will spend $5 to ship it to yourself because they're not covering shipping. So you're basically spending as much to ship as you are for the controller. If you don't already have a Steam controller, but Valve has confirmed they're dropping it. They're done. They didn't go great. They're not making any more, and they're not making a sequel to it, as best anyone can tell.
Oh,
So
I had an update from last week's Half-Life conversation.
Yeah.
That thing's going to be available cross-platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's not locked to.
Yeah.
I don't know if it came up or not, but
It's well, no, I think it got confirmed after we did the show. But you're right. It's on Quest. It's on PSVR. It's on everything. Every VR
you'll be able to get
thing.
it. You'll be able to get it everywhere. They're not locking it to their console.
No, they are not.
And the other thing was all those movement types we talked about last week. They'll all be available according to its site.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do walk, teleport, blicky, blicky, whatever. And the other thing was that it is a full game. They come out and confirmed it's as long as Half-Life 2.
Oh wow.
So not a tech demo, but full Half-Life 2.
When they say
Like,
as long, did they say as long as Half-Life 2? They actually said those words.
I heard
Completion
that as
times.
well. Yeah.
Completion, like as long as it takes to complete Half-Life 2 is how long it'll take you to complete
That's
this
impressive.
game. Without counting the fact that because it's VR, you may just want to hang out in a room and pick up all the objects or read the magazines in it, or who knows what's going to be in the game.
Well, now that
Imagine there's an outhouse and you go into the outhouse and then you're like, oh, here's an interesting nudie magazine someone left behind, and you're in there for like an hour.
Well, now that
You're like-
now that they have, or sorry, now that the PC Link thing is out for Quest, and apparently runs perfectly, I'm probably going to play it there via the PC version, which will be I'll get more fidelity out of that than I would if it was the Quest standalone one. But that was probably pretty good too.
Yeah. And that's gravy for you because you already own all the equipment. So
Yep.
it's just a game that's going to launch
Yep.
and you get it.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing too is that they are shipping it for free with new purchases for headsets and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Even
So
if
you
you
don't have
bought
to
just
buy
the
it.
controller, I heard.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool. So if you just bought
Anyway,
new
sorry.
controllers or whatever, they'll give you the game for free. So there's that.
I wanted to give a little update because I thought there's a lot of excitement about this game. Anyways, but since we're talking about Steam, and I'm just like, oh man.
So I don't know why this jumped out at me, but in the chat, no one schmuck, or however you say his name is, there's a gigantic Stardew Valley update. That's
Yeah, I saw that.
crazy. Look at all that stuff. Rearrange.
I think there was like 20 new songs or something like that in the soundtrack.
That's
Holy
crazy how much
gosh.
stuff they
That
added.
thing goes for miles.
It's huge, and it's
Scott,
not just.
you like your farming games.
I love farming, and I really like Stardew Valley. I've bought it in 3 places now. I have it on Switch, I have it on PC, and I have
Is
it
it really
on
that
my
good?
phone. Oh, it's great. I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, it's great. It's like
The only thing I bumped up against was I was having a hard time with the controls for it. I don't know why, but I struggled with it. I tried controller, didn't love it. Tried mouse and keyboard, didn't love it, and it was taking me a little too long to get into the game as a result. And I ended up falling off of it.
Well,
but
here's some good news for you.
I think I would like it.
Improved controller support is one of the gigantic lists in here.
Is it really?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Maybe I will be playing Stardew. I own it, so.
Yeah, why not?
Could
I'm
be.
going to do it. I'm going to patch it and see what's up. I wonder if this is coming to every platform I have it on, but I'll have to check. But I really, really like games like that, and I like this in particular, and it does feel like there was a lot of, like I'm kind of with you, John, there was a lot of stuff that felt, not clunky, because it worked. It's just, you know, there were times you were like, man, this is impressive that just one guy made this game. And then at the same time, you're like, there's there in some ways I can tell one guy made this game. And it's just little things like that. Nothing major. Like, it's an incredible feat. The whole thing is just insane that one guy did it. But he's like a millionaire now and has other people and is making multiple versions, and like it's different now. So maybe this is this kind of update is like, hey, because a lot of the stuff like visual and cosmetic issues, the bugs list is actually the smallest list. Most of this is new content. Like, added a movie theater that you can use at night. Added 14 hard events for every spouse. Added new events and dialogue. So they've added all these new clothes, tailoring, dyeing, 24 new hairstyles, including a bald head. John.
Finally, I can be represented in the game.
Added fish ponds to breed fish and produce fish in. Oh my Lord! All right,
Breed them fish.
I'm gonna update Stardew Valley after we're done here. I do like that game. Maybe maybe the keyboard and mouse stuff's improved too. I didn't read on, but maybe. Anyway, sorry. That's a side note. That's exciting though. Well done, that thing. Okay, Steam controller. Don't get it. It's a waste of money.
Quick question with Stardew Valley.
Yeah. Oh, let me say one more thing about the Steam controller, and then let's go back to Stardew Valley.
Okay,
If it had a second analog stick on it, it would still be a great and viable controller, and people would use it. I know that those two disc things are cool for what they were meant for, which is like, oh, I can actually play Civ or some other mousy style game on my TV with this controller, because these things have allowed for a kind of touchpad experience that works pretty well. And I will agree that they do. But they sacrificed by having a single stick analog controller or control, and that's a mistake. You need two of those. We're talking about the modern era. Everything has two sticks. So to not have a second stick was your biggest mistake there, Gabe Newell, and you should have had two of them. And had they done that, I'd use that controller. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just you hamstrung it by only having a single stick. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that, Bo.
People weren't ready.
Yeah. People aren't ready.
People weren't ready for one stick. They still like two sticks.
Yeah, turns out. It turns out they
No,
don't
I was
like
just
to go
wondering,
back. Yeah.
because I'm watching some footage from Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Seems like you get married and have kids and, live a life.
You
But
can if you
die,
want. Sure. You can do all
You
that.
die in that game? Like
Oh, I don't
old
know.
age, or-
I don't know. Never got that far. Maybe. Can
Okay.
you die in Stardew Valley? Anyone in the chat know? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I barely made it in. I didn't even get married.
I got pretty far. I had a lady friend that was, we were getting there, but I never did quite get married. But I do love my favorite part is all the farming and the selling and the getting more money on farming.
See, I always liked the relationship thing. It could be that. So I played Harvest Moon at a very impressionable age
Yeah.
in my youth. And I distinctly remember, this is an embarrassing story to tell, but we've come this far.
Yeah.
I remember playing Harvest Moon, and I remember, it became a game, like go talk to this villager, get little, I think it was hearts. I don't know. This was a long, long time ago. And you would build up a relationship with people in the town. And I remember thinking like, oh yeah, there's this person in town I really like talking to. And then next thing you know, there's some like weird event where you're in like a hot spring or a hot tub or something under the Harvest Moon or whatever together with this person.
Yeah.
I just remember, like, not to say that this was the only moment or the one moment, but I remember sitting there as a kid going, maybe girls are okay.
I love that.
So I think there's a part of me that, like, there will always be that weird association with these type of games as like, maybe this is all right.
Oh, that's funny. Well, it's okay. Well, that actually kind of helps explain why you like the relationship part so much. I like the loop of I planted a bunch of stuff, and I have enough money now, I automate a bunch of that planting and watering and harvesting. And then when I harvest it, I throw it into a bucket, and overnight somebody comes and picks it up and pays me freaking money for it. I don't know. There's something about that ring that I like the most. It's what I love about Animal Crossing. It's what I love about all those kind of games. It's a weird, I don't know. I have a weird relationship with these games. It's strange I even care about them at all, but.
And you can't hire anyone for automation. You do all the farming yourself.
Depends on the game, but in this case, yeah, you're the one. Well, no, hold on. You can have like an assistant later who does stuff for you, maybe multiples. I forget how that works.
Cool.
I never get. That's the other problem with these games. I never get that far because often I like it when they're really open ended, and sometimes I'm getting content blocked by you don't have a wife yet, or you can't do any of these 5 other things until you get married, or until you make enough people happy. Like the relationship stuff is weird.
Reputation.
But yeah, you can like the watering. You in the early game, you got to go water every plot with your bucket. Or that's not called a bucket. What do you call that? A watering can. There you go.
A
pail, sure.
Yeah.
But in later in the game, you can build sprinkling systems that just take care of all that. You never have to do it again. So there's a lot of that sort of progression in the game. I don't know. You can lose your whole life in that. I like fishing in these stupid games, and I hate fishing in games, but for some reason I like it in these. Probably because, again, I'm getting fat stacks of Benjamins, yo.
Yeah. Way to doctor up the fishing to try to make it sound cooler than it is.
The fishing mini game in this game is somewhat infuriating, but you can get used to it. I don't know. This is a big surprise hearing about this on the show. So thanks for putting that in the chat, whoever did that.
Have you ever done real fishing?
Oh, yeah. Lots of times. River fishing, fly fishing.
It's also infuriating.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah. There was another game that got a pretty big update today, though.
Let's talk about a little space game called No Man's Ski, which lets you upgrade your ship now. Is that the big gist of this update, or what's the dealio?
There's a lot of stuff, and I only mention it because I continue to be really impressed by how much support and love No Man's Sky gets.
Yeah.
It's really come a long way from those early days, and I know there's a lot of people out there that probably think, yeah, good, it needed it. What a ripoff that game was, but like seriously, that game has gotten extremely good and is so different. But it's a bunch of little tweaks, but I think the reason it stuck out to me was that I read it and I was like, oh, these are all great features. I can't wait for them to be in the game. And it was one of those, and they're in right now kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can upgrade your ship. So if you have a ship that you really like, but maybe it doesn't have as much space as you wanted, or maybe it's not as good a classification as you might want, you can actually upgrade that stuff directly. So you don't have to maybe go with a ship that you hate just because it's quote unquote better.
Yeah.
For the building side, they've done some cool terrain editing things to where you can just make flat surfaces, which is a thing that I was bumping up against a whole lot. I was trying to just eyeball flat surfaces with the terrain editing tool. So that's now default. Done a lot of stuff around building and making it easier to kind of not have the auto regeneration of the world go over the top of the things you've built, which was something I ran into. Added some new VR stuff, new first person for their vehicles that are not spaceships. And then a bunch of other like quality of life stuff, but it's a pretty big list. And if people are into No Man's Sky, I would check it out. If you still haven't gotten back into that game since all of the free updates they did, like go back and try it. It's a completely different game than what it was when it came out.
You can do first person creature riding in VR now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. That looks cool.
The biggest thing, honestly, is upgrading your ship. Oh my god. Because my C-class ship has the most slots in a ship I have ever found. I sat at a station hunting for ships in a system that should have S-class ships, and anything that's A and S-class always had less slots. I'm like, why would I take that?
Yeah, same.
Why would I? My C-class ship is the best class ship because it's got an enormous amount of slots, and it's not like a freighter class.
Mm-hmm.
it has more than the Fright class. It's an Explorer class ship.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I can just upgrade it and keep my awesome ship, that's great. And I'm seeing ship salvaging. So I have 6 ships.
Yeah.
And you actually can't get rid of them. Like I kind of picked them up along the way, and there's no way to disown a ship.
Yeah.
Right. And once you're full,
Um,
like if you do creative mode, you can just go buy ships for nothing because it's just fun. That kind of sucks even
Yeah.
there, even though you didn't have to work very hard for them. They're just stuck in some stable you can't control.
That's right.
Yeah.
So ship scrapping is
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
especially
good.
because I'm a sucker for underwater ships, apparently, because to me there's something extremely cool about diving down to the seafloor and repairing a ship and then it rising out of the ocean. I think that's neat.
That is
I
cool.
did that a couple times and wound up with ships I didn't really like that much because I was just like, yeah, let's fix it up. Let's do it. So it's all cool stuff. It made me want to get back into that game and just play again because that game is super good.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my God,
making
there's so much on here.
it's making me want to get back in too. Man, this is like update day. This is awesome. Synthesis update, it's called. Just so everyone knows, that's their name for it. And it's out now. Update
there's a
2.2.
personal refiner.
There already was that.
No.
This is built
This
into
one
your
that's built
backpack.
into your backpack.
Oh, not one I have to plop out on the.
Yeah, so like one of the things is like when you go around, you're like, oh, better take out the refiner again and refine some carbon or some oxygen or whatever I needed. Now it's just in your backpack.
Ooh.
Just refine. I'm sure it's a small amount, but still.
That's a quality of life improvement for sure. I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm
Sorry, going through
gonna.
this list. I'm just seeing it for the first time, and this is a really good list of updates.
I think I got the update today. I just didn't know why it was so big. Now I know. And that new terrain editing looks really nice. I mean, before it was just kind of arbitrary, but now it looks like you can actually make it look good.
We never
The one-
actually did any multiplayer in No Man's Ski.
No, not real. Not well. When they finally that hasn't been out too long, but I guess I never heard how that actually works. Or wasn't the deal that it kind of
Well,
ruined?
remember that I eavesdropped on you playing?
Yeah,
Oh,
there was the little
right.
spying issue that Bo found,
Right.
which I would assume they fixed, or I don't know. Maybe it was a weird thing with your setup, Scott. I don't know if it was an actual bug. But...
Maybe they meant to. Maybe that was all intentional. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But I am going to fire this up again and give it a look. The ship salvaging stuff
Well,
seems super
I would
interesting.
love to mine salt and ammonia with you both.
Okay, just those though, nothing else.
Well, anything. I just mean,
Okay.
You'd
salt and ammonia.
the base building actually is only interesting to me in a multiplayer environment. I don't care about that at all on my own. I don't.
Yeah, if you come to
care.
my base, I have a huge hydroponics lab. You can farm materials. I guess I never did that. There's things you can make for tons of credits that you can just sell in the intergalactic market for
Yeah.
like a ton of money.
I do that all the time.
So I made a whole bunch of those biodomes.
Yeah.
And I just every day when I log in, I would like farm, like a couple million credits worth of plants. Except, that's boring, and I didn't actually end up logging in after I built the base and made my whole plan.
I'm just not
So I
big
didn't
on
really
bases.
profit from it at all. But
Base building isn't my thing. It's why Minecraft and I never really got together.
you know where I like building bases is obscure, remote, weird locations, and I just build like a wooden floor and a recliner to lie in and a teleporter, and that's it.
Is your
Yeah,
John? Is your
pretty good.
penis anus or whatever the hell? What was the name of your planet?
What's
Where's
a
this
penis?
question going?
No, you had a planet that was to piss somebody off, and I can't remember how that all went.
Oh yeah. How did that
The
drama finally unfold?
Troll Planet. I don't know. I stopped
should-
playing right around that time, so I don't know how that all went out. I
Well,
should
we
go
should
see if he's been back to his base.
Yeah.
Let's all go together. I mean, we could enjoy the penis anus and three.
I couldn't remember what
I
you
don't-
called it, but it was a
I
Star
don't
Wars
remember what
thing.
I called it either.
It was some kind of Star Wars riff, right? Like a
I think the thing we landed on was something to do with socks, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
It was a Star Wars themed solar system, but he had claimed one of the planets, and so you're going to ruin his time by naming it something dumb.
that's what it
Yeah.
was. You're right.
I think we named the planet Poo Socks or
Poo
something like
socks.
that.
Poo socks. That's it. I knew
Yeah.
it was something with an anus. I mean, an anus is involved in poo socks. somehow.
That's true. It's true.
I mean, I don't want to get too graphic, but that's how you make it. If you want to make a poo sock, you better have an anus handy.
As the kids say, facts.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
I
that's
hate
all
it.
kids care about these days.
I don't like it when they say that. All right, moving on.
Facts.
Did you, John had a great idea talking about games that we didn't play this year that we really wanted to. And I have a list, but it's not that long, actually. For me, it's Control, Modern Warfare, because my son seems to really be enjoying it. And I wanted to play more Gears. I mean, the Gears thing is on my hard drive, so I can just do it. But I never did get Control.
Was when we played the last time you played?
No, I played a little bit more beyond that
okay.
in the campaign. And then I don't know, I got busy with something else. You know, it's funny. Oh, you guys, this is so embarrassing. Sorry, the side note. I'm playing ESO the other day, and they have this spacious, gargantuan, man, because it has player housing in that game. And every zone has a different kind of player housing, and they have cheap apartments all the way up to big, just sprawling compounds that you can buy. And some of it is cheap enough where you can just hardly pay anything for it, or you get it through questing or, other reasons that you've acquired some housing. I have an apartment in Morrowind that's a freaking just an apartment I got for doing quests, doing stuff for Vivek. Anyway, so this thing is this big sprawling thing that's out in the Elsewhere area, Northern Elsewhere, I guess it is. It's this huge compound that's like kind of Middle Eastern style. It's where the Khajiit lives. It's all the cat people, kind of their style, their motifs and everything. Big, beautiful thing. And I'm like, oh, you know what? No big deal. What is this? $25? I'll do this. I'll buy enough things to buy this. And let's just do it. Because it was one of those deals. You have to buy the credits to do it. And I go and I look and I started adding it up. It was like $100-something for this house.
Whoa.
Ow.
I'm not going to do it because that's ridiculous. I'm not spending $100 on a house. And also that's unfurnished.
I mean, it's pretty cheap for real estate,
Yeah, for actual real estate, sure. But you could have all kinds of like little, RP parties in there, and you can furnish it any way you want, and you actually have an option while you're previewing it. You can run around in it before you buy it, and you can fill it with furniture as well. But that's a whole nother crap ton of money.
I mean, that used to be the thing in the Morrowind, and less so in Skyrim, but still in Skyrim, was everybody just modded houses. Like that was the thing that there were a million mods for. Well, here's a beautiful house that we have furnished and put a bunch of things in. And I mean, there were hundreds of housing mods for Morrowind, and probably also for
Skyrim
has a bunch too.
I think even one of the expansions was focused on making a new player home for you.
Yeah. So it's always been a big thing in the Elder Scrolls series to have a home and to have a highly customizable home and place to live.
They really lean into it in this. Like it's and it's pretty cool because it's instanced, but you can bring people with you. So it's not like it's a big chunk of land where there's a billion houses and you got to go find yours. You just, on the map, you can teleport to your thing and, or you can run to it, I suppose. But you can own houses everywhere. I mean, they can go nuts and just collect them all, just like a Pokemon deal where you just collect every possible house type or apartment type. But they're cool inside. There's all sorts of stuff. Sit by a fire, freaking dance, whatever.
I'm gonna call mine Goldshire. I'm not gonna talk about what we do there.
Yeah. Someone, White Fox in the chat says that WildStar had good player housing. That is true. They did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. They currently have nothing. They're gone. But while they were here, it was pretty cool. Yeah, but
anyway, we went from the stuff you didn't play to the game you
play too much of.
Playing.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, sorry. So those are the games I want. Of all those that I'm the most interested in, in the Star Wars game, but it's so new I didn't put it on this list. I'm sure I'll get to that, but I think Control's the one I want to try the most. Maybe before the year's out. I really feel like that sort of game speaks to me, and it's weird that I didn't play it. So I think Control is my big 2019 current regret.
I think you'll dig it. I think it's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
It requires more attention than I wanted to give a game at the time I was getting into it.
Right.
I apparently was looking for a Diablo I wanted to put something on and watch Nailed It on Netflix at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And Control was asking for a little more than what that allowed for. So I think if I go back to it, I will enjoy it a lot more. But I think you'll definitely dig it.
All right, cool. Bo, you have a couple of good ones on here, but one of them I have good news for you. So go ahead and tell us what they are, and then I'll tell you the good news.
Well, the Epic exclusives I've been excited for all year that I never ended up buying because Epic won't take my money. So Borderlands 3 and Metro, when they release for Steam, I'm looking forward to it.
I like that you wrote Broderlands 3. I like that.
Oh, it's a typo.
No, I like it, though, because like bro, it's got bro in there, which is cool.
You remember
Maybe a more
Borderland?
appropriate title for that.
It might-
game
it
now
might
that I
be.
Think about it.
Yeah, and I have no regrets about not playing that because I don't know. I still don't feel any desire. I played so much of 2. I think I just spent all my Borderlands cachet. I'm done. I farted it all out. Just, I'm done with it, I think. I don't know. I could make a turn. I'm not saying ever, but I just can't get
I
excited.
think
about it.
Borderlands is one of those games where you kind of look at it and you go, and then you start playing it. And it's got like a, I don't know, it's got like a good loop. At least 2 does. I mean,
I'm sure 3 does
I can't
too.
speak for 3, but it looks like 3's a pretty good entry as well. It's the kind of game that I don't need the hype to be convinced to play. It'll be there when I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
But
Someone sends me a code, I'd play it today. Otherwise, I'm going to wait until it's on sale or on Steam or somewhere else. So we'll see how that goes. But the other one, Metro Exodus, good news, everybody, Bo. That entire thing, including all the extra crap they released for it recently,
it's on Xbox Game Pass.
Xbox Game Pass now. So there you go. Fire that up. Install.
Might be something I get into over the holidays. The other thing that I have to do is finish Witcher 3.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, technically,
I'd
I
say
do
like
too.
100 meg install, kind of. Still on my PC that I refuse to take off till I finish because I know I want to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I need to be in that mood where I'm like, I'm not doing anything for the rest of the day except this.
Mm-hmm.
The show's coming out on Netflix soon. Maybe you'll see it and get a case of Monkey See, Monkey Do.
And you know what? I haven't played because I haven't finished Witcher 3 is Thronebreaker, which I own.
Oh, it's cool. That game's
But
cool.
I haven't even launched Thronebreaker because I'm like, oh, it's clearly got spoilers for Witcher. I should need to play at least the main campaign of Witcher 3 first.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is that game a prequel or a sequel or a same time? I don't remember now that you say that.
I just know that Gwent, I played Gwent for a little bit, like
Mhm.
the Hearthstone equivalent.
Yeah.
And it had characters from, Witcher 3, and I like uninstalled. I was like, whoa, I don't know what this looks like someone I'm probably gonna meet in the game. Like, a spoiler game. And I realized the game's like I've been out for like 5 years.
Yeah.
But Witcher is like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm just like, it has such a slow burn to get into it. But then when I'm there, I'm like, oh yeah, this is really fun.
I wonder if
So
Cyberpunk will feel like that. I don't know. I hope not.
It could. It took me a
I'm-
while to get into Witcher 3. That was another one of those, like Fallout 3 before it, where game had been out for a while before it really got its hooks into me and I actually went through the thing.
Yeah.
I think what happened with Witcher 3 is I got kind of obsessed with visiting all the question marks in Skellige.
Mm.
And that's basically a whole lot of riding in a boat, swimming into the water, coming out with stuff I'm probably just going to vendor
Yeah.
and doing it 100 times because there's 100 question marks in the damn ocean.
It's really hard to avoid there, isn't it? Like Skellige or whatever it's called is like you don't ever want to leave because you feel like you didn't do it. You haven't finished there, but technically you sort of have. There's just so much side content. And that game's also really good with side content. Like this stuff's really compelling and voiced, and it's not just crappy fetch quests. Like there's real meat to a lot of that side content. So I had the same problem. I never wanted to leave starting areas because I felt like I left it unfinished.
Yeah, and Skellige has that like just gorgeous music. The whole game has gorgeous music. But
Yeah, it's really good.
yeah, I
Looking
like
forward to
game
that
a lot.
show. When do we get that? That's soon-ish, right?
That's really soon.
Yeah, I think it's maybe
December.
only a couple weeks away.
Yeah. I'm stoked
It's
about
funny.
that.
I completely forgot about so many things because of the Mandalorian.
I know, right?
I'm just thinking about Friday.
I caught up on I decided to binge through and get caught up on Watchmen, and I really like Watchmen. I know there are some
That
people that
last episode was great.
so cool, man. Like I love these origin stories they're doing. I like touching the old and staying in the new. Like there's so much to like. I don't know. I know that it's divisive. But you're talking. I am a long. Most of the time you think, oh, these long-term fans of the comic are mad. Nuh-uh. I'm a huge fan of the source material, and I think it lives on hallowed ground. I think it's really important stuff, and I love it, love it, love it. But I really like the show too. I like this. I like where they're going. I like the expanded ideas. I like everything about it. I'm so in on it.
I mean, if you just want Alan Moore's approval, he's not going to like anything they make out of any of his.
Oh
stuff,
yeah, no,
so
don't ever
like,
look for
so,
that.
like,
Yeah, waste of time.
Yeah.
He's not going to do it. I'm sure this is the funny thing too, because in some ways, I feel like this is his jam. They're doing things here that feel Alan Moore-ish, or at least true to his kind of standard breaking ways of writing. A lot of that's happening, and I wish he was more open minded, because I think he might find something there. I don't know. There's a lot. They have a lot to live up to in how you wrap a thing like this up, because it's got lots of crazy stuff. But I think it's great, man. Oh.
Alan Moore will forever live as my primary go-to example and reminder that you can love the work someone's done. You can respect the hell out of somebody for their intelligence, their ability, what they have put out into the world, and still think they're kind of shit.
Yeah. He's a good example of that. You know what, John? We could all learn a little something from your love-hate there. I think that's good. Also, I just wanted to make a secondary recommendation on that show for the soundtrack. It's Trent Reznor, and I forgot his part. He has a composing partner now that he always works with. But I'm telling you, that dude, since starting to do soundtracks for movies and TV, killing it. Like, so good. It's just an amazing soundtrack, and just really gets under your skin. It's very, very good. And Reznor is, I mean, who knew that Nine Inch Nails would turn into this? It's really, really something. It's very, very good. I made the joke on Twitter today that I wonder whenever someone hands him a new TV show and says, all right, Mr. Reznor, we'd like you to score this, if he says, I'm going to score this like an animal. Get it? Because of that song.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? That song, that one
No,
song.
we gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's a bad Twitter joke. Even worse when I say it out loud. All right, moving on.
Well, I mean, I think that it's an interesting time we live in with regards to that. I never thought that I would ever be like, oh man, I can't wait for the next soundtrack by Junkie XL.
Right? He's so good. I love Junkie XL. I mean, with Mad Max Fury Road, number one. But everything else he does is also very good. Yeah, like it's surprising where the next generation, or maybe current generation of score, people scoring stuff are coming from. It's awesome to see. And he always did. Reznor's done amazing work with David Fincher hired him for everything. Like everything David Fincher ever did, movie or TV wise, has Reznor doing the soundtrack. But I remember when he did the Quake 1 soundtrack. Those were the days.
He did.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Those were the days. All right. Bo, or John, I mean.
Yeah. Modern Warfare. I keep hearing amazing things about mostly the multiplayer on that campaign, or as opposed to the campaign. And I'm a sucker for Call of Duty. I don't play it every year because I think somewhere in the back of my mind I go, it's too mainstream. I don't like it. But then I play it and I'm like, oh yeah, I really like Call of Duty multiplayer a lot. And so there's a part of me that wants to get into this. And then of course I've missed everything on Switch. So I've definitely got a lot of regrets with regards to that, but money doesn't fall off trees. So sometimes you just got to live with those regrets.
That's true. I smell a Switch Lite in your future somehow. I don't know why. I just do. I think it's going to happen. Just feel it.
Well,
has somebody been a good boy this year?
Doesn't hurt that I've looked and thought about it a couple times, but I have fought the urge. I'm not going to buy it for a while. There's a couple big expenses coming up in my life, so we'll see.
I think Mama and Papa Jagger might find a way to finally get the boy what he wants. That's what I'm
You
saying.
want us to put in a good
They
word for you?
technically got me a Switch a couple years ago.
Mm.
They said, what do you want for your, I think it was my birthday. And they said, what do you want for your birthday? I said, I just want a Switch. And they said, you know what? Go out there, buy a Switch. We'll reimburse you. I said, great. I'm going to do that. I was getting ready to go out and get in my car. And then I did the responsible thing. And I said, nope, you know what? If I had just this money to spend, I would not have to make a payment on my credit card and this would be covered and I would be in a better financial situation. Nope, mom and dad, I'll just take the money. Thanks.
Yeah.
And so
I get that.
it was offered and then that was the end of it. So
I get that. This could
it
be the year.
happens.
Maybe it comes back. You never know.
Yeah. We'll see.
Think about it with this music on.
Oh, that gives me a whole different avenue of making money.
I know,
I'm way
right?
into.
Me
Yeah.
too. Makes me want to sell little green puppets for money. Maybe go in and talk to Werner Herzog and he'll go, listen,
Did you see that?
you want to go get me the thing and bring it back to me? That's a very bad
Did you
Werner
see-
Herzog voice. What?
No, it's really good.
No.
Have you seen the
Get me
reports
the
about him?
fob.
You do it
Yeah.
better. John does a good Herzog. Do it again, John. Let me hear it.
Bounty hunting is dangerous business, a complicated profession.
That's so good. Oh, that's so good. Sorry, what happened?
Hey
Bo?
Werner, what do you? I'm ordering lunch to bring in. What do you want?
Yeah, what do you want for lunch, Werner Herzog?
What do you want for lunch, Werner?
I would like a salad, but I want it very plain, maybe with a tomato.
This is gonna kill me.
I don't know.
And what video game didn't you have time to play for this year that you're gonna make time for?
There are many games that I was interested in playing, most of them on the PC, but I also am very intrigued by the Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
Have you heard the reports about Werner being
Yeah.
obsessed with the Baby Yoda
yeah,
doll?
he loves it.
Yeah,
He loves it.
yelling, don't be cowards, because they wanted to film a blank one in case they decided to go with CG.
Yeah,
And he called them all cowards for it.
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, and they ended up reacting. Well, I don't know if they 100% did, but the practical effects looked so good they stuck with most of it because they really do. They look amazing. That puppetry is awesome. Plus, CGI where you need it. Oh, that show, dude. Gosh dang it. That last episode was so freaking John Wick. I almost cried. Because think about it. Oh, anyway, sorry.
That
There's a
show.
lot of implications about that because I have to go back and start watching Clone Wars again and learning all about Death Watch all over again because
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
there's a character with the same last name as the leader of Death Watch in the Clone Wars. So I'm all like,
It could be a tie-in. I mean, there's a lot of people trying to figure out what tie-ins might happen here.
There are a lot of threads that they're throwing around.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
wondering-
because Dave Filoni is very involved in that series, and he did your Clone Wars, he did your Rebels, he's done all those series, so there's a lot of ties there. You've got Jon Favreau, who's always been a big Mandalorian fan. He did voices in Clone Wars. I
Mhm.
think he was the voice of the guy in this last episode of The Mandalorian, the one who's giving our main character a little guff about where he's getting
Oh.
his Beskar from.
I
think that was
I
Jon
didn't realize
Favreau.
that. That's awesome. That it finally,
So-
this is the way and helped out at the end there. Yeah. No, that's cool with the big
he-
Gatling gun thing. You think that guy?
Yeah, I think
Oh.
there's definitely an Iron Man nod at the end, right?
A little
so.
bit.
Mhm.
A little bit for sure.
Just the way that it moved was like
I mean,
Iron Man.
as far as I'm concerned, Favreau went from guy who makes every other thing he makes is pretty good to guy who I'm the most interested in now. I cannot believe how cool his vision is for this. It's really, really great. He's not just Flappy or Cappy or whatever his name is in Spider-Man. What's his name?
Happy.
Happy. He's
Flappy.
Flappy.
I can think of his name.
Everyone's favorite Marvel character, Flappy.
Right. And then he had a long run on Friends where him and Monica were going out. It's terrible. Don't watch it. It's bad. But that's what I'm saying. Like Zathura, not great. Iron Man 1, amazing. Iron Man 2, kind of bad. The Jungle Book movie, really good. The Lion King movie, kind of pointless. This thing, my favorite thing on TV in a very long time. Like he's weird mix, but when he gets it right, I feel like he's one of us, and it just feels great. And Swingers is a great movie. I don't care what anyone says; it's a great movie.
Well, Mandalorian
Place
is
is dead, man.
basically a visual of how Star Wars played in my head because I was obsessed with Mandalorians. I was obsessed with Boba Fett and all of that. So it's like somebody is taking what that world was to me and is now putting it in a
100%. This is Star Wars for me. This is what I always cared about as a kid. All of it. And I'm okay with Jedis. I'm cool with Sith. I'm cool with the overarching drama saga stuff. That's fine. Droids are cool, whatever. This is the vision that speaks to me the most. It always has. And they just have me by the nuts, man. Just holding me by both of them, just squeezing them like little grapes. Just meh. Anyway.
Oh, that was a beautiful visual to conjure
What are
right
they-
before
they're
Thanksgiving.
They're squeezing them like those eggs that Jawa's like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the hairy eggs. The
Oh,
the
man,
hairy
that
mud
egg.
mud ripper eggs or whatever they're called. Well, not mud ripper, mudhorn. Mudhorn?
Mudhorn egg.
I was
Looked
really
like cooled cheese in that egg. Like,
You know what it looked like? Do you guys get Cadbury eggs?
yeah,
yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of looked like a giant Cadbury egg.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Looked like
Without
melted
any of the
butter to
white
me.
stuff in it,
Like-
just the yellow stuff.
Just melted butter and then just jamming
Well,
it in
the
their
thing
little Jawa faces.
it was stringy. Like they were pulling it out and it looked goopy, but then it was like real tight strings, which is why it reminded me of like cheese that has melted but has started to re-solidify
Yeah.
again and has gone back to its hard form.
It's like
You know what-
There's something real good about that
Velveeta.
egg.
Velveeta cheese is what that was.
Do you know what it really made me think of though when I watched it?
Mm.
And this is gonna be inside. If you don't listen to There Will Be Dungeons, you won't get it. But the egg of Fengar that Nash was sent back in time to go find.
Oh right.
I'm like, it's the egg the Jawas have it.
Yeah,
They're eating it.
Holm in the chat makes a good point. It says so far the Mandalorian feels like a great video game. Main quests, side quests, and gear upgrades with a pet/follower. I mean, you're not wrong.
It's true.
I
It's
noticed
really
this too about it, and it's one of the. I think that might be one of the main reasons I love it. The structure of it is very gamey, and it's why games are so compelling sometimes in very simple ways because they're just presenting you with that package, and we like that package, and that show adheres to it. I don't disagree with that, and I don't see that as a negative at all. Like to me, that's a great structure to use. I don't know. Just don't ever stop making that. And if you're going to make more, like now I'm more excited about the Obi-Wan thing way more than I used to be. Like
Yeah.
the Obi-Wan thing when it got announced, I'm like, all right, okay. But Mandalorian hadn't come out yet. I didn't know what they were capable of. Now that thing has got something to live up to hardcore. And I'm also more excited about it than I ever was before. So
We're getting more and more prequely as we go.
we are, but listen to this, Bo.
Bo's all stoked about it. He's like,
Did you,
yeah.
did you guys see what I saw this last
Well,
episode?
the difference, Bo, for me is that I look at it and I go, man, I'm so glad we're getting an Obi-Wan series. Not because like, hey, prequels, but because Ewan McGregor deserved better.
Yes.
He brought too much to those movies.
John
It was
is
too
right.
good for him, and he
Yeah,
deserves
same with
better
Darth
now.
Maul. You know Darth Maul's coming back. for
Oh
sure.
yeah. Dude, I
Yeah,
have a
for
theory
sure.
about the
Guaranteed.
Mandalorian. The Mandalorian armor maker lady, I think, is a Brachian under that helmet. By the way, I really do. I think she's got the little bumps for it on top of her helmet. She's got some horns in there. She's got to keep safe.
Mhm.
Anyway, it doesn't. I'm not saying she's Darth Maul. I'm saying she's
Well,
of
Maul
the.
was in Rebels.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I know.
Yeah,
he's-
that's true.
He super died in Rebels, though.
But here's the other thing about all this. I don't have any problem with integrating some of the better things about prequel lore into the modern stuff. That's not a problem. And the Clone Wars was awesome. Like that was a great series. They get a lot of stuff right. I just think the movies are giant, bum scrapings. They're just bad.
So you missed the battle droid then.
Oh no, I saw
No,
it.
I saw the
I
battle
saw
droid.
that. That was
Those
cool.
I think battle droids
Say,
are
did you
okay.
say the prequels are like bum scrapings?
I'm saying the movies are, but concepts within it there's some really cool stuff in there. Absolutely. No question. It's just
I think-
execution. It's all
I
execution.
think the closest the Mandalorian has come to hitting on topics that are awful from the prequels is they might talk about midichlorians at some point.
I
They're
hope
getting
not.
dangerously close to it with what the client wants from Baby Yoda, talking about extract all of it. I think he's talking about midichlorians.
He may be.
Midichlorians are canon.
That's it. No.
Yeah, but we want to pretend they're not.
Yeah, we want to
And
pretend that
most
never
of us
happened.
have agreed that we're going to pretend like that's just not
Right.
true.
And here's what I hope they do. This is how I hope they retcon it. I hope that they, in the prequel era, they thought that that's what that stuff was, and it was a physical, material that were in the bodies of these Force-sensitive carriers. But then finding out in this show that that's just not the case, that they're wasting their time trying to extract something. It really just comes down to the kind of creature, the spirit that they are, like that matters more. And maybe that race, the Yoda race, can be sensitive to this Force. That's not a problem. I'm just saying it's got nothing to do with their damn blood because it's a dumb idea. It always was a dumb idea. So Werner Herzog, okay, John, wait, let's do it right now. Let's reenact it. Werner Herzog finds out that, oh no, the blood no longer, we can't get anything out of Baby Yoda's blood because it all turned out to be bullcrap. So let's act that out. How does that go?
Well, that is very. I've lost it. It's gone. It's gone. I don't have it anymore.
So that doctor,
It's over. I can do it for a little bit.
That's there. He has a symbol on his sleeve that shares with the Kaminoans, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
See that?
Yes, I did see that.
The article's pointing it out because I didn't see it in the show. I missed it watching it, but I think midichlorians make a resurgence in Rise of Skywalker. I have theories.
That's how they're
I
getting.
have theories.
That's how they're getting the theorized, because it's in the trailer, but I don't want to spoil it for people that are maybe skipping it. That's how we're getting to the theorized final baddie of Rise of Skywalker. Is that what you're thinking?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
And there was an article today. If you don't want to know anything about Star Wars, you probably should shut this off and unsubscribe for a week. But
Don't do that. Stay in. You're good.
Oh yeah, sorry. Subscribe.
Yeah,
Just
stay on.
Don't listen.
Yeah.
You don't need to unsubscribe. It's too far. Why are you
Yeah.
unsubscribing?
Yeah.
Gross
What are you doing?
overreaction.
No, stop. Don't press that button. Just press pause and all right. So there was an interview with J.J. Abrams, and they were like, he told people what his favorite scene from all of Star Wars was, and he said it was from Revenge of the Sith.
Which scene?
Yeah. The
And
Darth
it's the
Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis. Have you ever heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, who could live forever?
Yeah.
The secrets to immortality. And I was like, it isn't an original trilogy scene.
Yeah.
There is a
intrigue, calamity.
There is a in current canon comic book that suggests that Darth Sidious is the one who used the Force to create Anakin.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
It is
Yeah.
not in retcon, but there is a comic book scene. Because remember, they went with the whole like really weird immaculate conception thing with Anakin.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who's the boy's father? There wasn't a father. But then Palpatine in that scene says he could use the Force to create life.
So hold on. Does he use the Force to like force move a wiener into a vajay?
Yep, that's how it works.
No, he just he agitates the midichlorians. He agitates the midichlorians inside an ovary to produce the baby. Or something like that.
No, midichlorians are not. I refuse to believe it until it happens. I can't do it. I hate it so much.
You can create life. I mean, if you can force troll Kylo Ren across the galaxy, you can create life, I would think, right? I mean, they could turn into ghosts.
Midichlorians can do anything. They're like
Yeah.
tachyons in Star Trek.
I guess so.
Deep cut. I love it.
That's pretty
Tachyons,
good.
They do everything.
They do. They do every tachyons and what's the other one? Dilithium crystals. That's the go-to in case you need something.
Dilithium crystals and Heisenberg compensators.
Yep, there you go. Heisenberg compensators. That's Jesse Pinkman.
That's real. I was watching Star Trek and they were like, check the Heisenberg compressor or compensator. And I was like, he's the one who knocks. Get it off the ship.
They open up a little cabinet. Bryan Cranston's just in there. I am the one who knocks. It's fine. It's fine in here right
Yeah, it's fine. Come on in. Be a part of our crew.
By the way, now that we're just all over the place, Bryan
Yeah.
Cranston needs to be on a Star Trek show.
Oh, I'd I'd be into that. I'd be good captain, good admiral,
I'm
good.
okay with Bryan Cranston in anything, really.
Yeah,
Sure,
same here.
sure.
I was okay with the idea of him growing to a giant size and fighting Godzilla back when, people were going a little bit crazy with how that movie was going to go.
Oh right. Oh, I forgot about that. He was in that in the first Godzilla
Yeah.
deal or
He
the
dies
remake.
really quick, though.
Yeah, he's not. He's Steven Seagal's it right out of there, like executive decision. Remember that? Yeah. We did that for Film Sack last week. It was great. Anyway, let's talk real quick. Any of these games on this list, are they? Would anyone call any of these a holiday project game? Like a game you're like, you know what? I've missed it all year. In my case, like I'm going to finally sit down and play Control, and that's what the holiday gaming time is going to be spent doing. Do you see any of that happening? You're just going to Diablo your way through the holidays?
There will definitely be Diablo, because I'm nearing where that game gets super fun, which is I'm at level 70 and now I begin the next phase.
Yeah.
But so that will happen. But I'm definitely tempted by the new No Man's Sky update. So it could be that. And Scott, you'll be happy to know that I would also say Elder Scrolls Online
Yes.
is in the running for a project game for me. So
I wonder
we'll see. I kind of want to play all of those.
I wonder if you go to you should go to Steam right now and go to the store and see if, because you already own parts of that game, see if it gives you some kind of radical discount on whatever's left. You should just check that.
I hoped it would, but no, $19.79 is what they're going to charge me for that.
And that's for everything.
That's for Elsewhere. I think it's just because that's what Elsewhere has been discounted to, and I don't technically own Elsewhere.
I gotcha.
So even though I own parts of the package, that's just what it is.
I absolutely
double dip on the discount.
Adore Elsewhere, the expansion. It was my favorite thing they've done. I really liked it. Not no pressure. I'm just saying it was very good. All right. What was I going to say next? I don't.
What holiday game are you
yeah.
play,
What do you
Scott?
say, Bo? What do you want to play over the holidays?
Don't know. I keep thinking I'm going to play Heroes Ranked, honestly.
Oh, honestly, really?
Ooh,
But I keep never getting around to it, but I do want to get back to some Heroes at some point.
Yeah, I kind of do too. It's weird. I needed a break, kind of mentally from, I was feeling down about BlizzCon really not having a lot to say about Heroes, and what it did say was just a reminder of what was announced the week before on the internet, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And I don't know. I just needed a minute.
Our routine got disrupted. We had our, if we did one thing in a week outside of the shows we do, it would be playing some Heroes on Wednesday nights, and that sort of fell by the wayside. So just really miss it. Yeah.
I mean, we blame Kyle and Kristen.
Supposedly, we got Deathwing in a week.
Yeah.
And he's on the PTR now, but
so probably a week.
And new season around that time, if not at that exact same time. So it's not a bad time to get into it.
Yeah. I mean, Kristen and Kyle were so selfish by having a child so that we couldn't play on Wednesdays, and
yeah, they really ruined it.
Really,
Friggin'
just
babies, always just messing up hero time.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Before anyone believes we're saying this for real, we don't feel that way at all. We think it's awesome that they're doing this, and they need the time, and it's totally fine. And we hope their move went okay. That would have been. Oh no, that's this weekend. They're moving.
That's this weekend.
Oh, I hope it goes all right. I hate freaking moving. Hate it. Oh, it just gives me gas thinking about it. I'm gonna fart on the microphone. All right, moving on.
I mean, you can fart away from the microphone.
What's your project game, Scott?
Probably Control. If I had to think of one that is, I don't know, just jumps out at me every time I look at the list. Probably that. Yeah, I just feel like I need to. Like, why wouldn't I play that? That's a game I would play. I should totally play that game. But who knows? I may get so wrapped up in Grim Dawn again that I don't come out for 3 months. So I don't know.
By the way, just as an aside, I don't know where this fits in the show, but I'm just bringing it up now because we're just talking about games. But I did pick up Tabletop Simulator. Do both of you have that?
Oh, I do have that, but I don't think I've done anything with it. Let me just check.
I don't think I have it, but let me look.
I was looking into it as a form of like RPG thing, maybe in lieu of Roll20, but it looks really finicky. But there's actually a lot of board games on there we could play, and I wanted to suggest it as like a.
Yeah, we could do that sometime.
I do not have it.
I'm looking right now. This new interface throws me sometimes. All right, so Tabletop Simulator. Yeah, I do own it.
Yeah,
I've
it's exactly
never.
what it sounds like it is. It's a 3D environment game, but they've added a lot of DLC to it. And there's a lot of I guess community stuff like the board game Hero Quest. There's like 7 different mods to play Hero Quest, the board game from, was it Milton Bradley?
Oh, the one you've talked about before. How much you liked that old game? You played a bunch when you were a kid or
Well, I
something.
had the coworker who liked that old game.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I knew we had some discussion. Oh yeah, here you are, October 30th, and forward. Gorath played Tabletop Simulator for the first time. Gorath achieved. Do you do it? Like I can see your activity now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like I think it's gonna be too clunky for really doing actual RPG tabletop battles in it, because that's why I got it. I was like curious about it,
Yeah.
but I think it's gonna be too much work for little payoff. But there's a lot of board games in there, and I just that's kind of neat. If
I'll
we want
install
to play
that.
a board game, we could actually virtually play, but you could toss your pieces around and dice, and just be fun.
Oh, look, they've got like really traditional stuff too, like chess, checkers, cards, solitaire,
you can just
Chinese
play
checkers,
cards. That's like baseline free in there. Cribbage, mahjong, probably.
mahjong. Yeah, there's some kind of golf game, miniature golf game in here. This is
Oh,
crazy. I didn't know this was capable of all this.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that
looks like even
bowling?
a racing game. I don't know what that does. There's a lot of different things to do in there just for free.
Air
But,
hockey. Oh, I love air hockey. Have I ever said that before? How much I love air hockey?
I don't think we've talked about that.
I love it. If I go to an arcade or a place that has air hockey, I put quarters in the air in that thing. I love it. Love
Air
air hockey.
hockey is such a crazy intense sport, because I don't know. Apparently, you got to grip it with 2 fingers in the lip of the thing and,
Yeah.
and keep it loose. Is
Yep.
that how you play?
Kind of, yeah.
Or are you a tight hold down on the table, checking around?
I'm the loosey goosey version of what you described, and I got really good at like the flick of the wrist stuff, and played a ton when I was younger, and I have ruptured multiple like knuckles, not the actual knuckles, but like this. All my skin on my knuckles have been torn asunder multiple times by air hockey because I used to play so
From
much of
getting
it.
railed with the puck.
Yeah, the puck would like skip up a little bit and hit you right in the knuckle, but you just kept playing. I played once and I was bleeding. I still kept playing. Oh, there's VR mode in this tabletop thing. Cool. Yeah, you can play this in VR. That's super rad. I didn't know that. Look at that. There's guys playing stuff.
Yeah, like there's a lot of options in there, and it runs really smoothly. Yeah,
Huh.
it's pretty cool. It's just to program your own games is kind of a tough thing to do. But they got a lot of content in there. So there's a ton of mods. There's like a metric buttload of probably Steam Workshop stuff that's illegal. Like they take a copywritten board game and make a mod out of it. Do you want to play this pot? Like Gloomhaven, I think, is in there, and I'm like, did the Gloomhaven people know you're ripping their game off in Tabletop Simulator?
Yeah, I wonder.
But
But you know what's funny is it's so okay. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews. That's good.
Yeah.
You know what other
Yeah.
game does right now, John? A certain game gifted to you today called Grim Dawn. Overwhelmingly
Grim Dawn.
positive. Yeah.
I'm
Overwhelmingly.
extremely, I got to be honest with you guys. I'm extremely distracted because in trying to look at all this stuff, I click my Steam profile.
Yeah.
And apparently I have 4 perfect games in my library where I have gotten every single achievement,
Whoa.
but I don't know how to easily see what 4 they are. And it has just unlocked the center of my brain of needing to know what games I was apparently that good at.
It doesn't say what games they are? You can't tell?
No, it just says 4 perfect games, and it gives me an average game completion rate, which is a slightly embarrassing
where
one
does
of
it say that?
26%.
Ooh. Yeah, where do you get that?
So I think you have to customize your profile to show it. Like, I think you can pick what your profile shows, and I added a thing called Achievement Showcase, and so it says that, but now as a result, I can't find where achievements are actually held and live.
Interesting. I have 1,086
I see.
games.
Rarest achievement showcase. Or you can just show off your rarest achievements. Awesome.
Huh.
Yeah, my rarest achievements are XCOM Enemy Unknown and something called Ain't No Cavalry Coming. Sid Meier's Civilization 5, Nobody Expects, something to do with the Inquisition, and Pacifist for Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Interesting. What a weird mix.
Okay, in my rarest achievements, there's 6 that show, which consist of 2 games, and you guess what games those are.
Rarest achievements?
The rarest. So of the
you
player
told-
base, the least amount of people
Okay.
in that player base have gotten these achievements.
Okay.
Well, I
6
think you
achievements,
told-
2 games.
Okay.
2 games.
I don't know, man.
Just wild guess. So we don't have to take a long time.
Is it
It's
Deus
for fun.
Ex? Is
Nope.
it the Pacifist achievement?
Nope.
Okay, that sounds
That's-
hard. This is Steam, so let me think what you play a lot on Steam. Oh my gosh.
It might not be the games I've played the most. In fact, they are far from the games I've played the most.
That weird game that you guys played recently where you connect to the parts, the weird machine. What's it called?
All right, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
You personally knew someone involved with one of the games
Oh.
pretty well. You used to, not so much anymore.
Oh. I used to know him. Oh.
You know, we could.
Fairly,
Was it,
fairly public figure.
Okay,
might,
was
uh,
it Kingdoms of Amalur?
Yeah, 4 of my rarest achievements are Kingdoms of Amalur.
Really?
Wow.
No
Yeah.
way. All right.
That game is awesome. I played that. I 100%ed that.
It's
one,
very good.
achievement-wise.
It's a great
I'm
game.
actually shocked that it's this rare. I didn't think that was that hard to get.
That's a very cool game. I loved it. I mean, like, genuinely, it was actually, it's funny. Those guys didn't develop it. They bought Big Huge Games, who just finished it or were trying to finish it. And then they rebranded it all and rewrote the script and did all that stuff and made it a game in their universe for what they were eventually going to make an MMO out of. So Big Huge Games actually gets the real credit, but still, that's an amazing game. It's very, very good. And I would love a sequel. It's not going to happen, though.
I found one of my perfect games. One of my perfect games, I'm happy to report, is Monkey Island 2 Special Edition.
Nice. An excellent.
It's also
game.
one of my rarest achievements for Speed Demon, which is finishing the game in under 3 hours.
I love this data. This data is great.
I know.
My rarest achievement is the second game was Banished. 0.9% of players have this. It's tenure. Build a town that has a population of 500 after 200 years.
Oh my gosh, that's hard because that game everyone dies constantly from dysentery and freaking it's bad.
This thing called Diphtheria,
Diphtheria, yeah.
Yellow Fever, and some other one that's pretty bad.
That game is just a misery simulator, man.
Oh yeah,
It's
but I
rough.
mastered it. I mastered the misery.
Nice work. All right. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed
That was
all
fun.
of that.
What are your rarest achievements?
3 kids, and they all like me still.
Oh, look
let's
at
see.
you with
Pretty
the
good. That was pretty good.
fence and the
26-year
nice
marriage. My wife hasn't left me. Let's see what else. No, I don't know how to tell. I don't know how to see it. How do you see
Go
it?
to your name in Steam,
Yeah, I got that.
Frog Pants. Go down to Profile.
Okay, I'm there.
Go to Edit Profile on the right.
Got it.
Scroll down to the bottom.
Okay, I'm at the very bottom.
Featured Showcase. There's a drop-down
Oh,
menu.
all
And
right.
select Rarest Achievement Showcase.
Okay, I have 2,204 achievements, 3 perfect games.
Yeah, and the rarest achievements ordered from left to right are the pictures. Just hover over
Oh
them.
my gosh, my average achievement or my average completion is terrible. I don't even want to tell you.
What's your average
the-
completion? No,
this-
I need to know.
You know what? This needs context. I have 1,084 games. Okay, a lot of little codes sent to me that I play for 5 minutes and go, yeah, that's no good. Thanks for the free code though. I get that a lot, so it's like barely touching lots of games. So that's
Okay,
how you'll
that's
know.
fair. That's
11% average completion rate. That's because
But
of
that's
that,
fair,
I'm
but
sure.
You got a lot of free stuff. So
Yeah. I don't think
I give you a handicap in the competition.
Okay, my best ones are Drawful.
Wow.
What's your rarest achievement on Drawful?
It's better to be liked. 0.2% of all players have this.
Whoa.
Wow.
Another one is We Like to Watch. 0.6% of players have that one. Space Tyrant is another one I did pretty well on. Tools of War, 3% of all players have it. And then Starport Gemini 2, something called Bookworm, 3%. Rocket League, 5% of players have one in Rocket League called Throwback. I don't know what that is.
Wow.
Click it. And then Doom, the recent Doom, 2016's Doom. 5% of players have it. It's called No Rest for the Living. And it is...
What does it take to get that one?
Oh, this says so much more about how crappy the map thing is. No Rest for the Living is I have played 5 published snap maps.
Oh my God.
That's ridiculous.
Wow. We just revealed how much of a failure Snap Map was at getting players to play it.
That's
so
So
sad.
in the 5% of all the people that bought Doom
Yep.
on Steam, only 5% of them stuck around and played 5
Yep.
or more maps.
Yep.
in Snap Map.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That makes me sad.
I don't have that achievement. I'm pretty sure I've played one.
I played a bunch because I liked the creativity going on, but I mean that means that I'm there's less of me than I thought there were.
I thought maybe there's more people than that playing.
What do you guys have
That's
for when you do your favorite game? What is it? Oh,
my favorite game?
mine says none detected. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, same here. None detected.
Oh, maybe you have to write
Yeah.
it or something.
You select. Your
Oh
feature
yeah,
game.
that's something you pick.
Oh, okay. I thought it meant the one maybe you played the most. I wonder if it does that. Does it do that?
There's salience. No, that's not. There must be a stats one here. Hang on.
Huh. I love data like this. Custom info box, review showcase.
Yeah, I guess when people just drop in your profile, they can see your just something kind of cool that you show off to people that you do it. Most of the stuff is empty except for the achievement.
Yeah. That's
thing.
interesting.
Oh, I'm gonna leave it on that because that's pretty cool. I got some cool.
Well, I'm glad I don't care about metadata like this. Otherwise, that 11% would bug me. But I have 1,086 games. There's no way I'm going to ever go play them all and get a percentage better than 11. No way. Because there's some
I
games.
apparently have a rare achievement called Have a Reality Climax.
Yeah.
Okay.
All I had to do to get this one was complete all instances of Professor Genki's super ethical reality climax.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Professor Genki's
Yeah.
reality climax.
It's from Saints Row the Third,
Oh.
which is a fantastic game and everybody should play it.
Saints
It's
Row
really-
the Third
That's
is
why
amazing.
it sounds raunchy.
yeah.
Yeah, that game is great, though. John's right. What a great game.
Sure.
I like 4 okay, but 3 was amazing.
3 is so
High watermark for open world satirical masterpieces. It's very good. All right. I guess that's it. Oh, let's do this real quick. Whoops. Gosh, dang it. I got the wrong thing to click. And I'm burping at the same time. We've been playing some games. I talked about Grim Dawn to death, so I won't do it more, but I am playing that. And Red Dead 2, still doing that. Quick note, that is out on Steam next week. So for those who were holdouts on the Steam version of Red Dead 2, that is coming next week to Steam. And I'm really having a good time. I got to this amazing story point that I didn't get this far on the console version, where I got to burn down an entire plantation, and it was awesome. I just loved that whole sequence. So, yeah, that thing's got its hooks me pretty good, and I will see it through to the end. But Steam won't track it because I have it through their launcher. Oh, that's the other thing. I've got games like think about all the time we spent in the Blizzard launcher over the last 8 years or whatever long that thing's been around. Think about how many stats are over there that aren't part of the Steam profile thing. Like,
Oh boy.
yeah,
yeah.
I didn't want to think about it.
If you go into Diablo 3 to your Hall of Heroes, you can hover over them and they'll show you how many hours. And I think I had 1,000 on one character.
Oh my gosh, one
Back
whoa,
when-
Wow.
one character.
Back when Reaper of Souls launched. And that's before I knew any of you guys.
Yeah.
And I may not have been employed at the time.
Mm.
And I spent, a lot of time playing. That was
100
4
hours.
seasons. Just a lot of time playing Endgame.
That is 4 days. No, that can't be right. 100 hours.
1,000 hours is like a month.
1,000 hours. Sorry. Okay, so 1,000 hours time or divided by 24. So that is 41 days, 66 minutes or hours rather. 41.66 days you played one character. That's a lot.
Yeah. It was my hardcore character that eventually died.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
gosh, that sucks. That's why I can't do it. I just can't. Now that I've seen a number like that, that's
I died because I had rubber banded, disconnected, and got killed by a pink unicorn.
Yeah. I still go play my wizard more than I do anything else. I love that. Did it really die? Wait, I'm sorry. That went right over my head. You died from one of the unicorns?
Yeah, it was pink unicorn. It's still in the game. I'm gonna load up Diablo now because I'm in the Hall of Fallen Heroes. When I get there, I'll let you know. But it says what monster got credit for the kill. Got credit.
That's credit.
Takes credit for the kill, and I'm just getting it open there. I'll tell
Which one of those monsters got credit for my death?
Anyways,
That just makes me sick. Ugh.
And that was before Paragon levels. That was just grinding and gear and
Yeah. I
playing.
remember
Hang
those
on.
days.
But I've played a ton of Diablo.
And that was just you doing replays of the story on different torment levels or hell
Yeah,
levels.
just trying to play harder levels. Yep, slain by pink rainbow unicorn.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
That's
sorry, it wasn't 1,000 hours on one character. That was 146 hours, 52 minutes on that character.
okay. That's not so
But
bad.
I think total combined was 1,000, so I misspoke a little bit.
Oh,
there.
okay. Phew. I feel a little less bad about that now. But I don't want
Yeah,
to know
me
what my
too.
slash
Me
play.
too, actually. I feel
Yeah, you should feel
I'm
better
happy.
about that. I don't even know what I've done on my wizard, but I know it's a ridiculous amount of time, and I would be embarrassed if I saw it. But
I only have one character in my Hall of Fallen Heroes because I've only ever tried it once, and it was time played 28 hours, 30 minutes, killed by a arcane sentry.
wow, that's better than a unicorn.
pink rainbow unicorn. That's what
Yeah.
it says here.
I mean, the thing is, it's fun to laugh at it, but those were hard. It's not like they were any less hard. They were hard creatures to fight at those levels. So, regardless of what
I
form
died
they came
to
in.
a DC.
Yeah, nice job.
They weren't hard at all. They
Anyway,
were enough to kill me, but
also the other big complaint around the house is the Red Dead 2 has made me use a Southern accent again, like I used to get when I was in Mississippi, and I do tend to get one when I'm around that accent, and it just comes out of nowhere. I can't explain it, and it just is natural language for me, and it's been happening around the house, and everyone's sick of it. So when I beat Red Dead 2, they'll all rejoice. That'll be a good time.
I thought they would have been mad about your screaming at the top of your lungs Irish accent.
Oh,
that
yeah.
game makes you do.
Oh my gosh, I had the most. This is a spoiler, I guess. I can't say it. I don't want people to be spoiled, but I can't yell that name. I can't yell that accent.
Oh, I
anymore.
know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know
I'm
what
really bummed about it. Like legit bummed about it. Not that I can't do it anymore. I mean, I really was kind of getting drawn to that character, and I am. Oh,
Well, you. Okay, we'll move on.
yeah, I
can
don't want to
talk
blow
about
this
that
anymore.
later,
Yeah,
Scott.
but that game.
No, wait. You know what? That game's been out for a long time. We're allowed to talk about that game.
That's
yeah,
true.
You can go ahead and spoil it.
It's been out for a year. Sean gets killed in
Yeah.
a gunfight, and it really bugged me, and I felt
In
feelings.
a really unexpected way,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like, it's just sudden. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's
Is
really
Sean
sudden.
the character you play as?
No, he's a part of our gang. He's an Irish guy
Okay.
who's just really Irish. Hey, Arthur Morgan! And he's just always yelling, just being all pissy, going, those effing buggers are out in front of the thing, you know, like just that kind of accent. I love it. Anyway, he got killed in a real gnarly way, and I was bummed out. Like that just bummed
Yeah.
me out. I was like, I haven't felt that way for a while in a game. Games are sometimes good at that, but it's been a while, and Red Dead 2 is getting me where those emotions
You got
sit.
attached to him, man.
Yeah. There's a few characters like that. If they do anything, if Charles gets hurt, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, Charles is pretty great.
He's
too.
great. I also like Lenny. If something happens to Micah, do not care. Hate that guy. He sucks. But that game's very good about that character stuff. And they've always, I mean, that's what Rockstar does, but it's just, I love that game. I really do. John, Diablo 3 and wait, I thought you beat, are you playing through Fallen Order again?
I've stopped. I was going through on Jedi Master, and it was fun. It was definitely more challenging, but the biggest problem with that game, and it's funny enough, I saw Kotaku do a write-up on this, and I couldn't have agreed with it more. That game has a really cool world to explore, and sometimes you feel very rewarded for going off the beaten path in it. And it's just like, oh man, look at how cool this thing is. And at the end of all your trials and explorations, it's like you've got a new skin for your ship.
Mm.
And you're like, okay. Like, I don't know if that was really worth this. Like, the journey was good, the destination wound up sucking, but then the other problem is there's no New Game Plus in that game. So if you start over, you don't have any of that stuff unlocked. You don't have access to any of it. So it just kind of makes the whole, like, I'm getting items really feel arbitrary. And so I was very excited to dive back in and play more of it because I just loved that game so much. But it really just doesn't hold up on a second playthrough unless you just want the challenge. That's the only reason to play that game a second time.
I heard it's a little hitchy on the PC version. Did you find that to be true or no?
It definitely was early on. They've done a couple patches and it's gotten better. There were still some places, depending on what was going on, where you could notice a dip in frame rate, but generally speaking, it's gotten a lot better. Most of the issues that the other systems have, the PC avoids, but it's definitely got some technical issues. But I think a lot of those have been patched out. And honestly, the truth is, I feel like I need to put that as a disclaimer anytime I talk about the game. But for me, I was having such a fun time that I didn't care about them. Because I could have even made some changes. I could have played not on the big widescreen mode, and it probably would have run a little better and a little smoother. But I didn't want to do that. I could have bumped the graphic settings down a bit, but I didn't want to do that. I was just having so much fun that I didn't care about it. But for some people, that's very important. So.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Like the fun factor of that game outweighs its weaknesses and its problems.
Yeah.
So that's really good to hear. That's another one I need to play. I'll put that up next to Control, which ironically has a lot of Force-like power in it. So I guess the two Force games I'm into. Bo, Diablo 3. Anything else besides that? I know we talked about it, but playing anything else?
That's been my week. Diablo 3.
All right.
D&D.
Diablo 3. It's like brand new again. Whoops.
That's a good question.
All right. Quick email from Justin, who wrote in. He had subject is core question about Half-Life. He says, Evening Core team. First, thank you guys for putting on an amazing show. Scott, Bo, and John are the highlight of my week. Aww.
That's awesome.
That's
actually
sweet.
really nice to hear because
Yeah,
it
like
just helps.
you need
I don't
feedback
know.
like this.
I'm
I agree.
I'm actually really grateful because this is still, I don't think we're in beta anymore, but I'm still I'm still feeling things out, my comfort level. So I appreciate
Yeah, I do too.
hearing that you enjoy the show, actually.
Our
Very much.
transition from the Heroes thing we were doing to what we do now has, it's not without its bumps and bruises, and it's always nice to hear good feedback. So thank you for that. Says you guys are funny, intelligent, honest, and joyful about playing games in a world where most video games and news outlets are either soulless corporate mouthpieces or doom and gloom naysayers. Second, Half-Life is a hot topic right now, especially given the last week's show, and I wanted to ask a question. For a person who has never played or has any interaction with anything Half-Life, which iteration of the franchise would you suggest as a starting point? Sincerely, Ethereal Visions Studios in the Twitch chat. Well, Justin, aka Ethereal Visions, I would actually say get that. What's that remake called? Black Mesa.
Return to Black Mesa or something like that.
Yeah, I would actually try to track that down because it's basically Half-Life 1 remastered into the way better Source 2 engine. And it's good. It's really good. In fact, it was so good that I think Valve bought those people. It was originally a mod.
Oh yeah, it's called Black Mesa.
There was an
that's
official
what it's
one.
called.
Right.
Steam.
And that's
I have never played Black Mesa.
I have.
It
It's
was
beautiful.
always actually it still is in early access. My understanding is they are still trying to figure out how to put Zen into the game.
Right.
With good reason, because as much love as we all have for Half-Life, that last couple stages is bad.
Pretty
It's
bad.
Extremely bad.
Yeah.
That game does not end on a good note.
No.
But I think that's a good idea if you struggle with the modern ness of an old game like Half-Life. But I will say this, right now you can buy Half-Life Complete, which does not include Black Mesa, but it gets you Half-Life, the expansions, the sequel. Oh, it does give you Half-Life 1 Source, which is nice because then it's at least in the Source engine.
Yeah.
It gives you Half-Life 2, all the episodes for Half-Life 2, and it's Oh, I just closed it.
Is there
It's,
that weird DLC?
$7.
Oh, $7. Jeez. Yeah, I would totally
For
do
all-
that. I would totally do
for
that.
all of that.
Yeah.
So I would buy that, and I would start at the beginning and just see what you think. Because for me, I think Half-Life holds up
I
in
do
my
too.
head. At least I think
Yeah.
it's still good. But it's been a long time since I've gone through and messed with it. I actually, you know what? I should go through and play.
You should. Freeman, and you should stream it.
Gordon.
Gordon, get in here. You're late again, Gordon.
They're waiting for you, Gordon.
I mean, I will say,
Test chamber.
Yes, Bo.
I will say that Half-Life 1 and 2 are dated. If you're used to today's games, it'll be.
Yeah, they're old.
It might be tough playing it. It might be hard to appreciate what made them innovative and their aesthetics. Maybe.
Well, it's
I
because
know
you
Portal
played
1 still holds up.
because you
but-
played so much that was the others have iterated on what
Yeah.
Half-Life did. So it's I think it's still possible to see it for what it was in the time that it was. I mean, 98's a long time ago now, but Half-Life 2, not that old. It still does some really impressive things with physics. Came out in what, 02, 03? Something like that.
Yeah,
It
that,
was 2004.
4, okay.
What is it? The Ravenholm chapter? Is that what it's called? Ravencroft?
Yes.
Ravenholm? Raven something?
Crest. No, Ravencrest is the Mandalorian ship. You guys know that? You knew that?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's the Raven.
No, I didn't know the name of a ship.
Oh, sorry,
actually.
Razor Crest, not Ravencrest.
Razor Crest.
Razor Crest.
Is that the name of the ship, or is it the model of the ship?
It is the name of the ship, and you hear it in the first episode. That little fish man with the gills and everything. He says, "Ooh, Ravencrest." Or no.
But he wouldn't know the name of the ship. That would be the model.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it's like the make or something. I think you might be right. But yes, it's Razor Crest is what they call that. And so when Ibit's doing a 3D print of it, he found all the 3D files he's finding are called that. They're called Razor Crest. So maybe it's just a kind of ship or make of ship or something. I don't know. It's like a Firefly or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Where did I didn't mean to do that. What was it you were saying? Somebody was saying.
We're talking about Half-Life 2.
Oh,
right. But how did that turn into us talking about the Mandalorian?
Oh, because you said the Raven Crest.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. That stage.
Yeah.
The Raven something. Raven whatever. Raven Home. Raven Loft.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. In the first one?
Yeah, the place that they keep talking about where they're like, we don't go there. And then you go there because of course you
that's
do.
where all the face huggers and all that crap's. That's when you first really get into
That
yeah.
part still holds up, I think. I'm saying that like I played it and I didn't recently, but
No. There's some cool stuff in there, like the vines that can trip you up, stuff like that. Like it's all kind of kit and caboodle if you're playing like a horror game right now. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
probably.
it's all
I'm
in
sure that
there.
was in Resident Evil 6 or 7, right?
Yeah.
they say Raven Home. Chat room is
Ravenholm.
calling it Raven Home.
That sounds very wowish, but I guess they're right. Ravenholm.
It's the first place you really get to play with the gravity gun and use it as your primary weapon. There's a lot of zombies. There's a lot of traps. It's very dark. It's very scary. It's a very cool stage in Half-Life 2. It's a lot better than the riverboat.
Oh,
sequence,
I hate
which don't
correcting.
like.
I hate correcting people. There's some arguments in the chat about the origin of all this stuff. This just means I'm old, but let me tell you where all this stuff came from. Okay, so Team Fortress, originally a Quake mod, Quake 1, got worked on, iterated on, built upon, and then Quake 2 had a version as well. Eventually, after Half-Life success, the team behind Team Fortress was hired and the name procured by Valve. They brought them internally and they started working on Team Fortress officially. It went through a bunch of iterations, including like a Modern Warfare looking thing. And eventually they made a Half-Life 1 mod, or was it a Half-Life 2 mod?
It's Half-Life 1.
Half-Life 1 mod, Team Fortress Classic. That is what I'm talking about. Classic, yeah. So Team Fortress Classic was very popular and was being played in Half-Life, the original Half-Life. Then they started work on proper Team Fortress 2, which is what we have now. I mean, things have changed with it a little bit, but it's essentially the same game. That was like 07. And it shipped originally with the orange box, which included Half-Life 2, Portal 1. In fact, that was the launch of Portal 1. Portal 1 was
Yeah.
originally in that package, and you can get it for consoles as well as PC. It was a 360 PS3 and PC combination. And then so TF2 was in there. There was one other thing in there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody remembers the other thing. I think everybody remembers Episode 2, Portal 1, Team Fortress 2, and blank.
Yeah. So Stoic Squirrel is saying, well, it was a Half-Life 1 mod, but still a totally different game. Well, yeah. Half-Life 1 is a totally different game, but the concepts are still there. You still had the Demolition Man, you still had the Heavy, you still had all those character classes. That stuff is all carried through to TF2. Which, I mean, if I was Valve, and in light of Overwatch's success and other stuff, I'd be making TF3, but I don't know why. They're probably not doing that, is my thinking. Anyway.
I don't know. Maybe they are. I mean, they kind of surprised us with this one, too. It looks like it's coming out really soon.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you know,
in the middle of all that, Counter-Strike happened, and I played the hell out of that mod, and that was also Half-Life 1. Half-Life 2 got a version of it, but Half-Life 1 is where it started. And I spent I swear it feels like billions of hours playing Counter-Strike at the office I used to work in on our freaking Pentium 1s.
Counter-Strike was always the game I'd see when I go into cafes or computer shops and people were playing on LANs. It was always Counter-Strike.
Oh, yeah. Big
Yeah.
time.
It was very popular.
Playing Dust. The Dust 2, Dusty DE. What was it called? I forget.
DE_Dust.
Dust. That's it. DE_Dust, which is still
Yeah.
the basis for a couple of Dust layouts they have in the current game. Anyway,
I
good
think
stuff.
Counter-Strike was the game I was the best at the time it was popular, way back in the day. I mean, it's still popular and I'm garbage at it now, but back in the day when I played it every lunch in high school, we all went to the computer lab and just played LAN Counter-Strike against each other. I got so good at that game that I would get banned from rooms because people thought I was cheating.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. There's something special about those days when our ecosystem was smaller. Now, if you want to think you're good at anything, there's a streamer who's always just
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Yeah.
right.
It
You're right.
doesn't last very long.
And yeah, I have a tinge of sadness in that particular nostalgia.
I used to have that feeling about games too, and now I'm just like, yeah, I suck at all games.
Yeah, that's how I generally
There's
feel.
someone better than everyone. That's just how it is. Anyway, thanks for the email there, Justin. That's what we'd recommend doing. Let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear. And you can do that with a follow-up email. If you want to be like Justin, send us a message. Go on over to frogpants.com/core. There's a little button there that says contact. Super easy to use. It comes straight to us, and we're happy to read your stuff right here on the show. You can also find us on Twitter, John_Jagger. You can find me at Scott Johnson, Bo's at Bo Schwartz. This show is at Core Pod. And if you're feeling real lucky, you can send us a voicemail. That's over at 801-471-0462. That's the number, 801-471-0462. And most importantly, this show is funded entirely by you and your generous donations to the show via our Patreon, patreon.com/core show. That's right, patreon.com/core show. Lots of great levels and cool stuff to do, so go check it out if you haven't. And huge thanks to everyone who already has. Again, that's patreon.com/core show. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the States. Before we leave, words of wisdom from our co-host here. John, what do you want to leave people with?
Hey, gather around some food, whether you celebrate the holiday or not, and take a moment to be thankful for all the things that are good in your life. I'm sure there's at least something, and if there isn't, look forward to that first thing coming soon.
Wow, that's great. That's a very positive thing you did there. I like that.
Yeah.
Bo, no pressure, but what word of wisdom do you have?
Nope, I'm not going to follow that up. Just going to wish everyone of my American friends and listeners to have a happy Thanksgiving.
I thought you could say I'm not going to fall for John's trick or something like that.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to fall for this, so I'm just going to say have a great Thanksgiving. No, that's awesome. And we wish the Canadians would join us in our turkey eating because you're just right there. You're just right there. Look right up there.
Yeah.
There they are. It's stupid that we're so far away because really we're not. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching and listening. We'll be back next time with a brand new show. Should be next Wednesday. Until then, for me, for Bo, for John, we'll see you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
China.
It was like $100-something for this house.
Whoa.
Ow.
I'm not going to do it.